Oh, man. What a good character.
Neither does Desert Heat or Coyote Moon, so never too early. That's my first one.
Never too early. Oh, that's really good. Okay. So I got to think of one here. Okay. Dottie the Hottie.
Dottie the Hottie. Okay. There you go.
Yo, Jimbo, too.
What was that?
Yo, Jimbo, too.
Yo, Jimbo, too. Dottie the Hottie.
Jaime Pressly's in this movie.
Let's see. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to think of a good one here.
Low max, high stakes.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. Low max, high stakes. I like, oh goodness. The Tale of Bungalow 3.
That lady had a weird personality about her, didn't she?
She did, man. It was funny. It was great. It just the little things like, why'd you give him that money? That was a reverend's money. And she's like always sneaking the booze and everything else. Yeah, a lot happened in Bungalow 3. Just in the, day and a half that transpired in this movie.
I like that. Bungalow 3.
Bungalow 3.
That's perfect. And then the guy was watching those two women shower and shave their legs. Remember when the two sisters were when they're talking about
you need a gratuitous boobage. That's how you get it. As soon as he saved women showed up there getting hit, I knew that was going to happen in their near future.
It's just the gratuity in the 90s action films. It's just like Natasha Henstridge was in Maximum Risk, and she's like, I hated every second of that movie because it was a JCVD movie, which meant it had to have gratuity in it.
Absolutely.
That must have been a writer in his contract.
It could have been. Did Kickboxer have any gratuitous? That and I think Cyborg. I don't remember in those two.
Yeah, Cyborg did. Because I don't want to get too in depth with it, but I remember I bought it when I was like 12, and there's a scene in there, and I was watching, I was like, whoa, but that does.
Talk about a movie title that has absolutely nothing to do with the plot. Cyborg.
And then their names are Fender.
No robotics. There was no androids. There was nothing superhuman. Van Damme just was dropped in a well with his family, and he's out for revenge. Okay, now we're getting on to the subject.
Wait, that lady was a cyborg.
Was she?
Yeah, that he had to take. Remember? She was a cyborg, and they sent her to go. They didn't have email, so they injected her, and
was it the Johnny Mnemonic scenario?
Yeah. They had to transfer her to that lab.
Man, you know what? This could have been one of the telltale signs of my parents when I was younger and we had HBO, that they would record a movie, but they wouldn't record the whole thing. Like I remember, case in point, when we talked about Masters of the Universe, I remember the movie starting when Gwildor had the chicken and ribs. That's what I remember. I didn't know anything before that because they didn't hit the record button until that moment. So this could very well be a Cyborg moment for me that it's burned out of my memory banks because I never saw that portion of the movie.
What would happen in Cyborg where that thug is walking, but he just looks up a little bit and just sees JCVD doing a split 5 feet above him? But like he's 20 feet and he just sees JCVD up there splitting. He would have been an easy target. Like he wouldn't have been a hard target. He would have been an easy target. And hard target, he's a homeless guy, right? Who's hunted because he needs money and he's trying to do an investigation. This is a weird one, man, because he just murders people. He just goes. This is a story about a suicidal murderer who goes to a town and just makes it horrible. Yes, he kills bad people, but
does he make it horrible? Because as we found out at the very culmination of this movie, and what makes everything good now that what he did, the insane amount of murder, that he easily killed 30 people, probably more.
Yeah,
that quarry is getting full of bodies, man. Pat Morita is going to be swimming in cash for the amount of bodies he's had to dispose of. Anyway, at the very end, when it was like all these people disappeared, what do? They blamed it on the UFOs. National Enquirer came up, 28 people missing, must be the UFOs, and that's what draw the tourists. And they're like, we're getting money, people are here now, they want to stay in the hotel, not Bungalow 3, that's under renovations. That Rhonda's gonna have to make more pie. Oh goodness! And the bus route was coming in, and like it rejuvenated the town. I think Mr. Early even said, "Oh, it's rejuvenated now after Birdie came back."
Yeah.
Which, let's talk about Birdie for a second.
Where has she been?
Where has she been? Number one, they said that she's been gone for 3 years. Mr. Early said she's going to find me a handyman job. She comes back, no job. No explanation of where she was, nothing, and all of a sudden she's knocked up. Now, my question to you, Mr. Hoffmeyer, is this. Is that Mr. Early's baby? And that's what we'll discover in Desert Heat 2.
Whoa. Bungalow 3.
The mystery of Bungalow 3. Yeah, because he's disposed of all these bodies for Eddie Lomax, and now he comes out and the baby pops out and it's, white as you and I, and he's got to find out. He hires Eddie to find out who knocked up Birdie, and this is him calling in the favor for all the bodies he disposed of.
Wow.
Desert Heat 2.
Bungalow 3.
Bungalow 3. We just keep adding numbers. Desert Heat 2, Bungalow 3, the mystery of the missing 28.
They're just recently popular because the driver hadn't even asked Dottie out yet. So he goes.
That's a good question. I mean, he was always They mentioned that he was like waiting, biding his time and everything. But when did the story get out to the Inquirer? How long did it take him to print that, and then to distribute? And had to take time off from work and set aside money to drive out in the middle of nowhere. Did they hear about Rhonda's pies? Is that the reason why they came in the first place? Like that was a huge turnaround. Yeah. Very, very quickly.
It's the weirdest. I just can't see the guy who, yes, he directed Rocky V. I can't see the guy who directed Rocky, Karate Kid 1 and 2, even 8 Seconds, having these subplots in this movie. And I was just rubbing my eyes, by the way. No one can see this, but I was just like...
It was very painful watching Mark, because it seemed like he was very in duress for having to say this phrase.
This guy had never made anything like that. Mm-hmm. And then here's this movie. I hate saying it, but if you look around these movies during these times, I mean, remember in Showdown Little Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren where he's flipping cars and Brandon Lee's like, I gotta tell you, man, you have the biggest, what I've ever seen in my life. Like there's this, so Stallone in his heyday, Schwarzenegger in his heyday, all these huge egos. This just seems, I love JCVD, but this seems like an ego unchecked movie right here.
Yeah.
But he is acting though. He does have fun. Like when he has to carry around, the
Eli's oxygen tank and things like that. Yeah.
It's cheeky. When he's dealing with Pat Morita, it's cheeky. But I mean, also the guitar score they actually released on CD. It's all Bill Conti. It's amazing. You can get this score. You can own this score. So he does add some cheekiness to it, but this is not this. Okay, this is a movie released in 1999. This feels like a 1992 movie. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like a 1999 movie to you?
No, I mean, I don't know what to compare this movie to, really. I mean, it's all over the place. You go in thinking one thing. I mean, right off the bat, you think, oh, Van Damme's gonna be an action movie. He's gonna kick people in the face, and like he shows up, and then like all of a sudden he gets laid out, and it just takes this weird turn right away once he's saved, and he's getting a foot rubbed by Danny Trejo, and a coyote shows up in the middle of the night, and like Trejo digs a bullet out of him. You're just like, I don't know. Okay, he wanted to die, so now he's not dead, and then he like gets sent on this quest to reclaim his bike in this small town, and he's gonna stick it to these guys as like what? Like he thinks he's gonna end it, so therefore he's just gonna keep racking up the tally. He's already talked about these killings and things that he's done and like just haunting his dreams. So wouldn't he have aversions to killing more?
Yeah, you're right. He wants to die because of all the killing he's done. Then he walks into a town,
and he even got a medal for that killing. Was he was talking about? So what does he think he's gonna like? Is he just trying to get another medal? Like what? Like if he was so upset about getting recognition for killing someone, is he okay with it because no one's gonna like reward him? But he does get rewarded because he gets Rhonda in the end, and he gets his bike back, and the town loves him, and the town is rejuvenated. So isn't that a reward? There's lots of questions that can come from this. If you just sit and think about it too hard, which I told everyone not to do about this movie.
What's in this pie?
What is in this pie? You know what? I'm going to say right away, because what sets the tone immediately from this movie, which is funny because he's a bad guy, is the shirt that Petey is wearing. It says, "Got meth." Right off the bat, you're like, that's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
We know he's a bad guy. I think it's meth. I think Rhonda puts meth in the pie to get people to come back. The pie's probably not even very good. It's the only diner in town. I'm sure there's a grocery store somewhere. They don't want to cook for themselves. So what is she going to do to get them to keep coming back? She's got to get them addicted to the pie. Meth in the pie.
That's it right there.
You know what? That's the third movie title, Meth in the Pie.
Meth pie. Meth in the pie. The meth and the madness. The meth in the pie.
And madness. Motorcycles and meth. The story of Bungalow 3.
And Desert 4, Bungalow 3, Foot Rubs. The Hogans have a really interesting family relationship because Father Hogan ends up getting killed from a wrestling match.
Wrestling match /
Larry
neck-breaking.
Drake of Darkman,
Yeah.
I think Law and Order, no, L.A. Law too. So he, big name, big actor, and he just gets into a wrestling match with his son and dies, correct?
Yeah, I thought that the fight was going to go on a lot more, and for him being like the head of this family and the head of this organization, that he was going to throw his weight around and, you know, put this kid in his place and beat the crap out of him. And I was very shocked to see that it just ended in a very, quick death with the neck snapping, which seems to be another trope that goes along with JCVD movies. Anytime someone's like, if you look at Bloodsport, you know, and Chun-Li, and he's just like, he snaps necks, he does this stuff like that. There's always breaking necks. And I don't know, maybe that was inserted by Van Damme too. They're like, what do we do with this guy? Like, how should we kill him and do this? Oh, just break his neck. Just be quick. We don't have to think about it too much. If he's going to die, bam, he's dead.
Yeah, just like butter.
More for me. This is really funny too. If Van Damme is a producer on this and like influence this movie and others as far as like to get him like the most, just whatever he wants to do, either whether it's screen time or whatever, this movie in particular like weighs heavily on the remainder of the supporting cast for, I would say, about 85% of the dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, he's not in the movie. Like, even when he is in the movie, he's not the main focus. Like, in the very beginning when he shows up and he reclaims his gun and finds Eli, and Eli comes out and Eli's smoking and going between the oxygen tank, take a hit of oxygen, take a slug of the cigarette, take a hit of oxygen. Lomax doesn't say a whole lot. He just kind of sits there and he kind of does the little,
cheeky.
I'm making facial expressions here again because we're on an audio medium here.
He immediately sits on the desk or the counter.
Yeah. It's like reactionary shots, and all the other dialogue is from these other people. So if he was like trying to do this ego stroke on himself for this film, like, wouldn't he have been talking more or having more of the pull of this? Or maybe he just thought, I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme and I'm beautiful and everyone's going to look at me anyways. And put me next to this old man in a red onesie, like he's from the 1800s and everyone's going to stare at me. I don't know. But that's one thing that I noticed is like, I was like, wow, he's not really in the movie a whole lot. Or if he is, he's not talking. He's like the strong silent type.
I mean, Vern gets a lot of lines. Mm-hmm. The Howards get a lot of lines. Dottie does. Eli does. The Hogan. There's a huge subplot about how one Hogan isn't man enough to murder people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They give that more attention than any of JCVD.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there is so much strife that went on between him and the director, between what everyone wanted to go through, that maybe JCVD called it in. Maybe he just like phoned it in for the majority of his performance, unless the times that, you know, really took some of that nice JCVD fire, like, you know, giving it to the sisters or dropping the towel with that just big thump.
That was very aggressive.
I wanted to say thank you and just take a towel drop. You're welcome. And he just ripped it off and just threw it down. Like, it was not even gentle. He just, wah.
Oh, man.
This was before the sex, just so everyone knows.
And then,
woman comes to his door. Can I come in? I half expected him to say no. I half expected, just with Lomax's character, that he was just going to be like, I'm on a mission. I don't need any distractions. But, of course, in she comes. And they're both in towels. Why is Lomax – here's a question. Why is Lomax, knowing people are after him, in one of the few places in this small town that they could look to find someone that doesn't live there, is in a bungalow, polishing his 45, in a towel and cowboy boots? Like, that's all he's in. Like, that's like he's ready for action in that. And so when she knocks on the door, he's like, you know, jumps in the shower and he's strafing around in a towel. And then like she comes in, so they're both just in nothing but towels. I just wanted to say thank you. And she, of course, slowly drops the towel for the gratuity. And all he says is, you're welcome, and responds in kind. And then it's on. It was such.
That might. I was thinking I guess he's staying there because the bikes got blown up, but they could just call their friends.
Yeah. Like, I mean, why didn't he stay with Six Toes? I mean, that was quite a ways away, and he had to walk like, you know, half a day and have 16 flyovers from those fighter jets. You know, when he was coming into town. So I can see like convenience factor. You know, maybe he didn't want to lead him back to Six Toes in his secret lair. Who knows? But yeah, it's again, but I think that goes back to, like, you know, with them being the big bad guys with the biker gang and the Hogans, like, they're not very smart. They're not very